All right, let's get into it here. XRP has actually been surprising us. So we was hoping to see another pull up before we had that push down to the 4-hour pink line so we could be able to hold that 272. But as we seen last night, throughout the night we had a drop down to that 270. Since then, we have already broke that 270 area, dropping down to that 269.98. So it has pulled up here. I do expect us to eventually pull back up here to our orange line, 286.98. However, I do still see a push towards the downside for our daily yellow line. Once we hit this daily yellow line, that's going to push us down, creating the next entry. As you can see, we are right there close. That yellow line will bring us on down, putting us hopefully into that green dot area. Once that triggers, I'll be all in on a long on that one. Not financial advice, but that's where I'm going to be putting in all my money at, riding it up to that new all-time high. So we're going to be getting ready for that. Now, what are we looking at on the lower time frames here? 1 minute XRP shows we've already came down and back up on there as well. We are still in a downtrend, therefore we're going to be looking at possibly coming back down that 274 soon. Right now, though, we are still going to come back up, tapping our pink lines here and stuff. So you'll see a little bit of upsides. 278 on the 5 minute, 15 minutes going to be the possibilities of us getting up to that 286. However, as you can see, for this long trend that we're on right here, all the way down, we've not been able to do the pink lines yet. So as soon as we are able to hit that bottom area, you'll be seeing us coming up to those 286s. So, unless we can actually get to be able to start pulling up on the 4-hour to our orange line, which will be a 286 area. Until we get to that point, we ain't gonna be able to see that on the 15 minutes and stuff. So once we see that pull up hitting that stuff, we'll probably be able to push back down to hit that daily yellow line. Keep an eye on that. If you get the indicators by joining into the Discord, you could be able to sit here and watch it and monitor it and stuff. So as it's sets right now, if we wind up going down to the yellow line tonight, it's setting around that $2.50. So be looking at that. Actually, it's actually pulled up since the last time I looked at it a little earlier. It's at 251. So it's still pulling up. We can possibly see this pull up just a little bit more, but if it drops during the night, you're looking at 251 to 250. So keep an eye on that. We also had Bitcoin to take a look at over here. Bitcoin daily. We've already dropped down. We're down here. We are ready to take off, but we still have the possibilities of 104,000 for Bitcoin. So be watching for a drop to at 104,000. On the lower time frames, though, we are looking at maybe 109,000. If we do get a little bit of a pullback, maybe 111,000. I don't think we'll wind up pulling up that far. If we do, without hitting that daily yellow line, is a good possibility that we could have a pullback if we do have a big push up. So if you see big candles rising all the way up there towards that 111,000 or 115,000, just keep in mind if it's big candles, it's creating a bunch of liquidity. There's going to be a big pullback. So that's where your top end would be, is around 115,000, and then you might see a pullback. But according to this right here, if we do get a pullback on the 4-hour, looking at that 110 up to that 112,000. So the whole 30-minute and 15-minute area, that is still at play. It looks like we've already kind of pushed up on that one as well. So those are at play, and that will be giving us a touch up here on our 113,000 to the 109,000 or 112,000 for our top lines. So a good pull up, touch up in here. You can see that 112, 113,000 is at play. We pull up, touch, and then you're going to see another drop. That drop should put us down to that 104,000. Now, as depending on how long it takes a few more days before we get all the way up and then pull back. That can allow that daily yellow line bill to rise up a little higher. Same thing for XRP. See, moving on over, checking out Ethereum here on the daily. So on the daily, we are pulling back. It looks like it needs to actually pull on back now. So it needs to pull on back to about $4,011. And that right there will create a new up to the upside on it. Ethereum's just been climbing higher and higher while everything else has been going down. So you can see when we broke out up here, everything kind of squeezed. We had a flip. Everything went bullish. And now it's been riding that yellow line. It comes down to touch the pink right there. And then it's just continuously goes up and touches the yellow. And that's about what we've done right there on that 4 hour. So again, on the daily, it still has to come on down to about that $4,011. Lower in, we could be able to see it coming back up 43.17, 44.13, 44.42, 45.17. Let's see. I'm pretty sure 45.17 is on the high end. But right now it's like, yeah, pulling back down to that pink line on the 2 hour will give us that daily. So be looking for a little bit of a pullback on the Ethereum, and then you're going to see another lift off. So keep up with that. Let's see. We also told to look at XLM. So XLM, I was asked just a little earlier, what do I see the low on XLM? So we're already in that oversold area, but there still is that possibility of pushing on down to our yellow line for the daily. So you're looking at about 33 cents for XLM, and then we should be able to see a bounce from there to the upside. As you can see, we already hit the 4 hour. We're pulling back towards around 37.17, where that should give us another entry towards the downside. And what's kind of cool is where this 37.17 is, we've actually got an order block right in here. So there is the possibility that we could push up closer towards that blue line or touch the blue line and then push back down. High ends, we're looking about 41.73 on the 2 hour. Yeah, so I'll be looking for that little bit of push down and stuff, as well as that little bit of pullback. And then, of course, you're going to be able to see that 41.73 coming into play after we get all that hit. So keep an eye out for all that stuff. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, you want to be able to learn these indicators, you want to be able to see how to read them, get them, all that stuff, Monday through Friday, I do a Discord hangout in our Discord for our VIP members. And we go through, you can ask the questions, we'll do call outs. And also, guys, we are starting tomorrow. We're going to start a double money challenge. So what that means is we're going to set our accounts to a certain amount of money, and then we're going to try to do our trades and to get enough of them within the day to double our account. So if we can double our account for each day for the next 15 days, that would take us, make us a millionaire basically. So depending on what we put. So if you put in $100, 15 days later, you should have about $1.6 million. It's not financial advice. It's not, it, anybody that takes it, they take it at their own risk. They can always do at one of those demo accounts and test it out for the 15 days and see if they double. If they do, great. And then you want to take and try with money, absolutely great. But just remember, we always want to do a risk management. So during any of those trades, there is possible going to be a few losses here and there, but with the proper risk management that we teach, you're not going to lose more than you're going to win. So keep that in mind. Always do proper risk management. And this has been your update for Monday, the 1st of September. Hope everybody had a great day, great Monday. Let's get back into it.